I'm Matilde Antonj, and in this video I will present the work A Pilot Study Towards the Implementation of Perceptual and Motor Adaptation in Robots, which I developed together with Joshua Zonca, Linda Lastrico, Maura Casadio and Alessandra Sciutti. Humans are continuously exposed to sensory stimuli coming from the surrounding environment. In order to cope with neural noise and sensory uncertainty, human perception does not rely only on the current sensory information, but takes into account previous experience, which corresponds to a prior in Bayesian terms. On the contrary, when we aim at coordinating with individuals that have different priors than ours, one hypothesis is that our perceptual processes will benefit from relying less on priors and more on the sensory information coming from the environment. Moreover, to collaborate efficiently with others, humans have also to identify their partner's motor cues. Thanks to this kinematic feedback, spatial and temporal adaptations between agents are facilitated. Therefore, understanding the interplay between perceptual mechanisms and motor strategies may be crucial to characterize adaptation during interaction, improving the development of adaptive robots able to collaborate with humans in a human-like way. For this reason, in this pilot study we designed an experimental task aimed at investigating how humans spontaneously adapt their perception and their kinematics to those of a robot, which was modeled with a different prior. During the experiment, the participant is positioned in front of a square-shaped table where two strips of LEDs are located horizontally. A piezoelectric sensor is enveloped in a rubber pad to register the event of the participant's hit. To acquire the kinematic data through the optotorque system, markers are attached to the shoulder, the elbow, and 3 points on the metacarpal bones of the hand. During the task, 2 consecutive flashes are presented to participants through the first strips of white LEDs. The 2 flashes are separated by a temporal duration chosen randomly in the range from 1 to 4 seconds. To replicate the desired temporal interval, participants have to move a wooden stick from the resting position and hit the rubber pad on the same horizontal plane. The experimental paradigm was composed by 3 conditions characterized by different goals. During the individual one, participants have to estimate the temporal duration between the presented flashes in the most accurate way. On the contrary, during the social conditions, participants perform the task with a robot, which is not physically present in the room during the experiment. The participant's goal is to align their response with the robot's one. The difference between the 2 social conditions consists in the presence of the response feedback of the robot. Indeed, in the social with feedback condition, the temporal estimate of the robot is shown through the lighting of the second strip of green LEDs. On the contrary, in the social no-feedback condition, the response feedback of the robot is not visible, and participants have to apply the strategies they learned in the previous session to align with the robot. Both behavioral and kinematic results were significant. Indeed, it is visible that the perceptual responses increase from the individual condition to the social no-feedback one, converging to a different prior which coincides with that of the robot. This effect is mirrored by participants' kinematic results. Indeed, the perceptual adaptation observed in the social conditions is implemented through a delay in the onset of the action. Thanks to this pilot study, we managed to identify a relationship between the perceptual mechanisms and the motor strategies involved during the adaptation between the participant and the response of the robot. As you can see in the video, now we are modeling the movement of the robot, taking into account the participant's kinematic data. In next experiments, we will implement these mechanisms in the robot. The experimental paradigm of this pilot study will be repeated with the visible action of the robot in order to analyze the role of motor feedbacks in the perceptual adaptation.